Hey guys, I'm Christian Kilpatrick. I'm here to talk to you today about what's known as the winner and loser effect, which is basically how previous competitive interactions resulting in either a win or loss can affect the decisions that an animal makes in future competitive interactions. Now, the first hypothesis that tries to explain the winner and loser effect is known as the byproduct hypothesis. And basically what the byproduct hypothesis states is that an individual's success in future competitive interactions is based on alteration of their actual fighting ability from prior experiences. So an example of the byproduct hypothesis would be if an individual was injured in a previous fighting experience, or maybe an individual still has high levels of lactic acid in their tissues. So an example would be like if a boxer who had just got done with a boxing match was going up against somebody who was fully recovered, they obviously are at a disadvantage. But if you allow them both to recover to a point where a previous fighting experience didn't cause any alteration of their actual fighting ability, then it doesn't apply to the winner and loser effect. So basically what I'm stating here is that the byproduct hypothesis can only apply to the winner and loser effect if it is constrained to a certain time period that wouldn't allow an individual to recover from any alteration of actual fighting ability. The other hypothesis for the winner and loser effect is known as the perceived ability hypothesis, which basically states that an individual's success in future competitive interactions is based on their perceived fighting ability and how it's altered from previous fighting experiences. So an example of this would be like in humans, in a competitive activity, if you lose or win, your confidence is altered. And that confidence is then used in future competitive interactions either to help or hurt you. So basically what these researchers did is they took these male green annual lizards, which are a good model organism for this study because their reproductive success is based on their ability to obtain and defend a high quality territory. And they basically just had these lizards compete with one another and saw how winning or losing affected future competition and also how it affected their glucose levels in the tissues. So they ended up rejecting the byproduct hypothesis for two reasons. The first was that the levels of glucose in the tissues of losers was no different from that of the control group, which basically showed that there was no correlation between lactic acid levels and losing. The other was that there was too much time allowed between interactions amongst male lizards that basically would allow for recovery of any alteration of actual fighting ability. The other thing they found was that individuals who had previously won a fight were more likely to increase the intensity of the next fight, indicating an increase in aggressiveness, which goes along with this perceived ability hypothesis. So basically individuals who had previously won, as predicted, were more aggressive in future fights, and individuals who had previously lost were less aggressive. Also, individuals who had previously lost were significantly more likely to lose the next fight, and individuals who had previously won were equally likely to either lose or win the next fight. These findings supported the perceived ability hypothesis that future success in competition is based on alteration of perceived fighting ability based on previous fighting experiences. The winner and loser effect is highly dependent on an individual's perceived fighting ability based on its previous experiences, which has important consequences in competition amongst animals and in the study of animal behavior.